What do you get when straight-laced Peter Sellers eats a pot brownie and falls in love with a hippie? It's 1968's I Love You, Alice B. TOKLAS. Filmed in Los Angeles during the Summer of Love, the whole thing plays like a late-period dragnet shot as a rom-com. I was actually supposed to be in this film, but regrettably, I went to a psychedelic bris at Dennis Hopper's the day of my wardrobe fitting and woke up 6 weeks later on Russ Tamblin's roof, convinced I was a family of crows. Here's what I missed. I'm Dr. Z, and you're watching Trailers from Hell.
Hi there, swinging homemakers. This is your kitchen guru.
Film director Paul Mazursky broke into the business co-writing this script about a Beverly Hills lawyer who meets flower child Leigh Taylor-Young the day before his wedding. In short order, he decides to drop out of society, leave his bride-to-be at the altar, and take up with this hippie chick, despite the fact that she's dating his brother. Oh well, nobody's nerfect. You might say this character sounds unbalanced and self-destructive, to which I must ask, have you met Peter Sellers? Don't get me wrong, I love the man, but he was, as Freud would say, loco in the cocoa. This was an unhappy time in Sellers' life. He didn't like working in Los Angeles, especially while his wife, Britt Eklund, was working in New York. And if Peter was unhappy, so were you. He accused screenwriter Paul Mazursky of trying to sleep with his wife, then apologized and asked him to take over directing the film, which didn't go over well with the guy who was directing the film, Hy Averback. At one point, Averback tried to give Peter Sellers direction, but Peter refused. So Paul Mazursky tried to do it, causing Peter to flip out and ban him from the set. So you ask him to direct the movie, but when he tries to direct the movie, oh, I can't. At one point, Peter thought the entire crew hated him and tried to get them all fired. I'm sure that fixed it. You may ask, who is Alice B. TOKLAS? Well, she was Gertrude Stein's partner. You all know Gertrude Stein. She's the woman on the cover of Taschen Press's big book of sexy women named Gert. Alice B. TOKLAS published the first recipe for pot brownies, but this was in the 50s. Now mix in Allen Ginsberg, the Vietnam War, and let simmer for 15 years, and voila! You've got hippies. Back to the film. Peter Sellers tunes in, turns on, and drops out, and for his efforts, he wakes up in the morning next to Leigh Taylor-Young. And about 40 other of society's dropouts who've decided to move into his apartment, skipping the part where they ask him. A year later, Dennis Wilson would go through this very same thing with the Manson family, as shown in the film I Love You, Vincent Bugliosi. Long story longer, Sellers discovers the counterculture can sometimes be personally inconvenient and decides that it's not for him. He tries to go back to his old life, but that doesn't work either, so he leaves his bride-to-be at the altar for the second time in the same film. Look, it was 1968. The Graduate was popular and running out of your own wedding was all the rage. It wasn't until later that people realized the true secret of a successful marriage. The only way out is through.